Alright guys, so if you're clicking on this video, you're probably one of two groups of people. Either one, you're not a fisherman, but you're getting a gift for a fisherman and you just really don't know what to get them. I mean, you're not familiar with anything. There's so many rods and reels out there and other kinds of fishing tackle that you need some help. So this video is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to go over a few things that I've used and what I'm sure your fisherman friend or family member will enjoy. Or two, you are a fisherman and maybe you're a viewer of the channel already, or maybe you're just a viewer of YouTube videos on YouTube in general. And people have been pestering you, asking you what to get you as a gift. So this video is going to be perfect for you as well. You're going to be able to just forward this video right along, or any of the products in here right along, and you'll be assured to get something that you'll enjoy. The most obvious pick is to get them a fishing rod or reel. And you know, we got fishing rods here, you know, saltwater rods, we got freshwater rods, there's travel rods, travel reels. You know, you can pretty much go anywhere when it comes to fishing rods and reels. But really, if you're getting a gift for a fisherman, or if you are a fisherman, you probably got plenty of rods and reels already. You don't really need another one. Let me take that back. You can always use more rods and reels, but if you're gonna get a new rod and reel, you're probably better off just getting it for yourself, just because there's so many different kinds, there's so many different price ranges, and it's just easier that way. So we're gonna put that aside for now. So all the products used in this video, I'll leave linked in the description below so it's easier for you guys to find them. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I've just used these products and I know they work and I can recommend them to other fishermen. So that being said, let's get into the gifts. So first things first, Plano tackle boxes. And if you're a fisherman, you're always going to be getting more hooks, more lures, more bobbers. And there's really only one good way to keep that organized, and that's in these Plano tackle boxes. And there's all kinds of different shapes and sizes. You can find them all on Amazon, but basically they're going to run you anywhere from like $10 to $30. If you get a real fancy one, maybe it's a little bit more, but I'll leave these linked in the description below, the ones that I use. Really, these are the best ways to keep your tackle organized, in my opinion, so you can never use too many of these. So that's the first thing. Okay, second thing. So if you're a fisherman, you're not always going to be fishing in the best weather. So best thing, in my experience, to stay cool, to stay warm, is one of these long sleeves. And this is a long sleeve by Sims. It's got a hood as well. So these are nice. It's good for cold weather, it's good for warm weather. They're dry fit, they're wicking, so if you get wet from the water or whatever, that's going to dry up quickly. I've just found that these are the best all-around basically fishing apparel. So it's good for warm weather because it protects you from the sun, and it's also good for cold weather because it's a long sleeve, it'll keep you warm, and it makes a good like undershirt if you're fishing in really cold weather. Okay. So if you're a fisherman and you're out on the water, you're going to want to be cool. You don't want to be seen as one of those rookie Guggen fishermen. And there's really only one good way to stay cool, and that's to get a real cool pair of sunglasses. So these are what I use. You can get cheap ones, but really, if you're going to look cool, you got to get a pair of Oakleys. So that's the sign of a good fisherman. Just kidding. You don't really need to look cool out there. No one cares. But really, if you want to stay healthy, you know, keep your eyes healthy, that sun is really killer out there, and these sunglasses are good to protect you. They're also polarized, so you can see in the water if you're doing sight fishing, or if you, I don't know, you need to see in the water for whatever reason, that's there, and these are just really good in my experience. They're a little pricey, but I think what you get, it's worth it, because I've had these for a couple years now and no problems with them at all, so highly recommend. Come on. Alright, moving along. Next, so I didn't do too much tackle, mainly because tackle is really specific depending on what type of fishing you're doing or what type of fish you're targeting. There's all billions of different lures, similar to fishing poles. But if you're a viewer of this channel, there's a good chance that you're a fisherman on the West Coast. So these are a couple of lures that I highly recommend, which I've used in videos in the past, so if you want to go back and look at those and see what kind of fish they catch, that's there for you. And these are two surf fishing lures. I only got one. It's actually tied on my rod here already. I don't want to take it up. And this is the Lucky Craft Flash Minnow, and this one is a Daiwa SP Minnow. So both of these are really killer lures in my opinion in the surf. Both will catch perch and striper. This is a little bit more towards striper, and this one's a little bit more towards perch, but they both catch both species. So highly recommend. And if you're not a fisherman and you're watching this video, I'm probably going into too much detail, but basically, if they're a West Coast fisherman and you haven't seen these lures in their tackle box, maybe this is somewhere you want to go. These are around about, I think this one's $20, this one's like $10 on Amazon. Both really good options for fishing the surf. You like this one? What do you think? Striper will eat this? Yeah, I think so too. I've caught a lot of big striper on this one. Okay, moving along. So let's see. Okay, so if you're a catch and cook specialist, or if you just catch and you cook every once in a while like myself, you need a good fillet knife in order to prepare that fish. So I've got a few here. These two are Bubba blades. One is a little bit wider than the other one. I don't know if you can see it on the video there. Basically wider for a little bit bigger fish, skinnier for a little bit smaller. And then I've got one here that's even smaller. This is a little, I think it's made by Rapala. It's a nice little fillet knife. So if you want to go high end, I highly recommend these Bubba blades. These run about $50 each, but the quality is just unmatched in my opinion when it comes to fillet knives. If you want to go a little cheaper, these are a good alternative. I think these are about $20. I'll leave both of them linked below. And yeah, I like to use this little bit smaller one for perch, smaller fish, maybe trout, and bigger ones for bigger game, obviously. Salmon, lingcod, halibut, that's what these are built for. So really nice to have a good fillet knife when you're cleaning fish. Can't stress enough that if you have a dull, bad knife, not only is it going to be harder for you to fillet the fish and get a good fillet out of it, it's also more dangerous. You're more liable to cut yourself because you're just pressing a little bit harder on the fish, more chance for it to slip and cut yourself. And it's just nice to have a good sharp knife. So that's critical. And along the same lines, if you are cooking, if you're catching and you're cooking, you're not always catching and cooking right away. So this is a vacuum sealer, and this is awesome. So whenever you catch your fish, you can use these bags in here. These bags are sold separately, by the way. I'll leave them both linked in the description below. But use these bags. It's pretty self-explanatory. Seal up the bag. It takes out all the air and vacuum seals it so that it can stay fresh a lot longer. And typically, if you put fish in the freezer in like a Ziploc bag or something like that, it's only gonna last, you know, a couple of weeks, maybe a month if you're lucky. But if you get one of these vacuum sealers, it's good for, I've had fish up to a year, and it's obviously it's not gonna be as good as when you first catch it, but it's still pretty good quality. In my opinion, if you're catching fish and you're freezing it for later, or even bait for that matter, you can freeze bait and it'll stay much higher quality if you vacuum seal it first. If that's the case, this vacuum sealer is the way to go. And this is a really nice one. I think this one is probably like $200. You don't need to go that expensive, especially if it's your first one. I think you can get them for around $50 for good quality vacuum sealer. These are Extra Tough, which is the brand, and they're just a nice pair of neoprene boots. So these are good quality boots for fishing in the boat, especially is what they're designed for. But you can use them for freshwater. I probably wouldn't recommend them in the surf just because water's liable to come over the edge here. But these are just nice quality boots. They're really easy to clean. They're, I mean, I've had these for over a year now. No tears or anything to speak of. And they're just really good quality, real comfortable boots. So if you're fishing in boats, a lot of times the deckhands, they're going to be hosing down the back deck or even the front deck too. And if you have regular tennis shoes on, you're just going to get soaked. Your feet are going to be cold, they're going to be wet, and it's just not a good situation. So having these boots is really beneficial. Just keep everything dry, and they're really comfortable. Some boots that you wear, they're just not, they're not fitted well to your feet, or I don't really know why, but they're just not comfortable to wear all day long. And if you're fishing on a charter boat or whatever, you're gonna be fishing for the full day. It's not like a 1 hour type deal. So you wanna have something that's comfortable, something that's sturdy, and something that's gonna last you a long time. So these are the way to go. I think these run around $100. So like I said, they're not cheap, but they are good quality. They're gonna last you a long time. So if you're a diehard fisherman like me, most of you probably are, you're gonna be fishing in cold, rainy weather sometimes, especially right now it's winter, but even during the summer, you never know when that rainstorm is gonna hit, depending on where you live and where you're fishing. So a nice quality rain jacket is key to staying warm and dry during those crazy weather days. So this is a North Face jacket. I think it runs around $200 or so. I'll leave it linked in the description below. But basically, if you don't have a quality rain jacket, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to fish in the rain, obviously. You're gonna be wet, you're gonna be cold, and it's not gonna be fun. So getting a nice quality rain jacket will really help you during those cold weather days. Okay, so if you really have everything set, you know, you got all your rods and reels, you got all your tackle organized, you got fillet knife, you got a vacuum sealer, and you still don't know what to get, this is kind of one of those things for those kind of people. So this is probably something that you haven't seen before. I hadn't seen it until maybe last year this time, which is one of these maps, and they're made completely out of wood, I believe. So this is a cool map. It has it's 3D and it's indented based on the depth of the water. So like this is a map of Monterey Bay here, and you can see the canyon right here out in the middle of the bay there. So a really cool map. Like I said, it's not fishing tackle related, but I think it's just a cool decoration to have in your fish cave or your living room. So they have all kinds of different maps. So this one's of Monterey Bay. They got San Francisco Bay. They got Lake Tahoe. They got lakes and bays in the northwest and the south, and they're just really cool piece of art. Basically, I'm not really an art person in general, but I think these are pretty cool to have in your house. So that's one of those gifts for those people who they just have everything in terms of fishing. They don't need any more gear, any more jackets or anything like that. So hopefully I went over something that either you didn't have or the person you're getting a gift for doesn't have. Like I said before, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies or anything. These are just products that I've used and I know they work and I can recommend them to other fishermen. So I'll leave everything linked in the description below. So check out those links if you're interested in buying. And if you have any questions about any of the products, feel free to leave a comment below. I always check out all the comments and I'll do my best to help you get that gift. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.